Namaste, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVN Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. In previous session, we discussed what is emetropia, what is ametropia, and what is hypermetropia, what are the symptoms of hypermetropia. In this session, we will discuss from the science of hypermetropia. That are the signs. The size of eyeball may appear small as a whole, especially in high hypermetropia, and cornea may be slightly smaller than the normal. Anterior chamber is relatively shallow. Retinoscopy and autorefractometry reveals a hypermetropic refractive error. Fundus examination reveals a small optic disc which may look more vascular with ill-defined margins and even may simulate papillitis, though there is no swelling of the disc and so it is called pseudopapillitis. The retina as a whole may shine due to greater brilliance of light reflections, short silk appearance. A scan ultrasonography biometry may reveal a short anteroposterior length of the eyeball in axial hypermetropia. Then we come to the grading of hypermetropia. The American Optometric Association AOA has defined three grades of hypermetropia as below. First is a low hypermetropia when the error is equal to or less than +2 diopter. Moderate hypermetropia when the error is between +2 to +5 diopter, and high hypermetropia when the error is equal to or greater than +5 diopter. Then the complications of hypermetropia. If hypermetropia is not corrected for a long time, the following complications may occur. First is the recurrent styes, blepharitis or chalasia may occur, probably due to infection introduced by repeated rubbing of the eyes, which is often done to get relief from fatigue and tiredness. Second complication of hypermetropia is accommodative convergent squint, which may develop in children usually by the age of 2 to 3 years due to excessive use of accommodation. The next complication of hypermetropia is amblyopia, which may develop in some cases. It may be an isometropic, means in unilateral hypermetropia, or strabismic in children developing accommodative squint, or ametropic, seen in children with uncorrected bilateral high hypermetropia. Then next complication of hypermetropia is predisposition to develop primary narrow angle glaucoma. The eye in hypermetropes is small with a comparatively shallow anterior chamber. Due to regular increase in the size of the lens with increasing age, these eyes become prone to an attack of narrow angle glaucoma. This point should be kept in mind while instilling the mydriatics in elderly hypermetropes. Then we come to the treatment of hypermetropia. The first treatment part is the optical treatment. The basic principle of treatment is to prescribe convex or the plus lenses so that the light rays are brought to focus on the retina. The fundamental rules for prescribing glasses in hypermetropia include: the total amount of hypermetropia should always be discovered by performing refraction under complete cycloplegia. Then the other fundamental rule is the spherical correction given should be comfortably acceptable to the patient. However, the astigmatism should be fully corrected. Then we have shown the image how we should correct the hypermetropia with the convex lens. After placing a convex lens in front of the eye, the image will be formed at the retina. The next fundamental rule is the gradually increase the spherical correction at 6 months interval till the patient accepts manifest hypermetropia. The next fundamental rule is that in the presence of accommodative convergent squint, Full cycloplegic correction should be given at the first sitting. The next fundamental rule is if there is associated amblyopia, full correction with occlusion therapy should be started. Then next are the modes of prescription of convex lenses. Spectacles are more comfortable, safe and easy method of correcting hypermetropia. Then next, contact lenses are indicated in unilateral hypermetropia, that is anisometropia. For cosmetic reasons, contact lenses should be prescribed once the prescription has stabilized. Otherwise, they may have to be changed many a times. Then we come to the surgical treatment. First is the cornea-based procedures. In that there is thermal laser keratoplasty or TLK. It has been used for low degree of hyperopia. In this technique, 8 laser spots for are applied in a ring at the periphery to produce central steepening with mid-infrared energy from thallium, holmium, chromium, TSC, YAG laser. Regression effect and induced astigmatism are the main problem. Then next cornea-based procedure is hyperopic PRK. Using excimer laser has also been tried. Regression effect and prolonged epithelial healing are the main problems encountered. The next cornea-based procedure is hyperopic LASIK, which is effective in correcting hypermetropia up to +4 diopter. Then next cornea-based procedure is conductive keratoplasty. CK. It is a non-ablative and non-incisional procedure in which cornea is deepened by collagen shrinkage through the radiofrequency energy applied through a fine tip inserted into the peripheral corneal stroma in a ring pattern. This technique is effective for correcting hyperopia of up to 3 diopter. Then the next procedures are the lens-based procedures. First is the phakic refractive lens, PRL, or implantable contact lens, IEL, is being considered a surgical option for hyperopia of more than +4 diopter. Then next lens-based procedure is the RLE or the refractive lens exchange. It is a good option for high hyperopia, especially in presbyopic age. Then we will come to the next refractive error, which is the myopia. The myopia or short-sightedness is a type of refractive error in which parallel rays of light coming from infinity are focused in front of the retina when accommodation is at rest. So in this, as you can see in the image, when the parallel rays of light are coming from infinity, they will focus in front of the retina. So the image formed will be blurred. What are the etiological classification of myopia? First is the axial myopia. It results from increase in anterior-posterior length of the eyeball. It is the commonest form. The curvature myopia occurs due to increased curvature of the cornea, lens, or both. The next type of myopia is positional myopia. It is produced by anterior placement of crystalline lens in the eye. Next type of myopia is the index myopia. It results from increase in the refractive index of crystalline lens associated with nuclear sclerosis. The next type of myopia is myopia due to excessive accommodation, which occurs in patients with spasm of accommodation. The next is the grading of myopia, or the American Optometric Association AOA has defined 3 grades of myopia. First is low myopia, when the error is equal to or less than -3 diopter. Then second is the moderate myopia, when the error is between -3 diopter to -6 diopter. The next is the high myopia, when the error is greater than equal to -6 diopter. Then what are the clinical varieties of myopia? These we will discuss in the next session. Thank you so much. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you so much.